gentlemen, here in a studio, the show is this part of our rolling coverage is coming to an end. Sinijlawi and Or Issachar, looking ahead to the coming 2 days. First of all, Sama, what should we be expecting from tomorrow, or what should we, drop the expectations and realize will not happen tomorrow?
Well, I think we have the feeling that nothing will happen on the Palestinian side, except of the economic aid to the Palestinian hospitals in East Jerusalem. Biden will leave the Palestinian occupied territories without any significance. It's very sad. It could have been a very big opportunity to make a breakthrough, especially that there are now no risk in changing a coalition. He cannot, because for the last 2 years, Biden was caring to keep the Israeli coalition. Now there is no risk in disturbing this coalition. He could have pushed a little bit for some progress, but he did not seize the opportunity, and it's very sad.
Well, we will have to see how we move on from here. Or your final remarks?
I think President Biden and his staff would like to see a two-state solution, would like to see some progress in the Palestinian front, but they just know that this time around it cannot be obtained, and they would like to put some more practical goals ahead. For example, the financial support to Palestinians. They want to have closer Israeli-Arab ties. I want to pick up on your last point about the expansion of the Abraham Accords, about seeing eye to eye on Iran. It's incredibly interesting to see the realignment of Middle East axis, where the U.S. used to approach Iran, and now it realizes actually Saudi Arabia and Israel are closer partners than the Ayatollah regime in Iran, while Russia picks up on that with Erdogan and forming their own alliance with Iran as a contrast. So I think we are seeing a symbolization maybe of these axes in the Middle East in this visit. I do hope we'll see a positive change. We know the Saudis and the Americans have had their tough moments, and would like to see maybe Israel strengthening its ties with the Arab world as a result of this visit.
And maybe we should just acknowledge the fact that both Israel and the visit with Palestinian officials is merely a stopover on his way to Jeddah this time around. And if, again, we need to look ahead when it comes to interaction between Ramallah and Jerusalem without Washington in the equation, is that perhaps something that will be underlined?
Well, I think we should try, for example, to see the expansion of the Abraham Accords to include the Palestinians. Why not anybody's trying to do?
Because that will mean recognizing Israel as a Jewish state.
Have any of the other countries recognized Israel as a Jewish state from those who have signed the Abraham Accords? This is not something for us to choose. I mean, the Israeli public can choose whatever state they want, but we don't need to recognize this. I mean, every single state can decide how to identify itself. For example, for me, I really don't know what is it a Jewish state.
Well, we will not solve this question now on this broadcast. Now, what I was suggesting or alluding to is that perhaps the region was relying for so long on external mediation or brokering this or that agreement. Maybe this region can, reinvent itself on its own. Just maybe, just a thought to the future. Mr. Sinijlawi and Mr. Or Issachar, thank you very much for bearing with us throughout this broadcast.